Yo, what's going on, guys? Versal here, and today I'll be doing a quick Sinful Dinosaur budget deck profile to celebrate the release of the Bonanza set. A lot of people were upset about the tins, rightfully so, reprinting a lot of the cards that are played in this version of the deck, and with the way that set was handled, they were still expensive because they were a lot harder to pull. So the fact that they reprinted them again so quickly in the Bonanza set and all the rarities is definitely helpful. The deck's so much cheaper now. I would recommend buying these cards pretty fast because pretty much all of them were short printed in the Bonanza set. So just keep that in mind. The prices are going to start cheap, but they might go up fast. So if you're interested in getting the cards, I would get them sooner rather than later. They're already pretty cheap. I priced this deck out, main extra inside, to around $70 to $80. And that's still using the pre-sale prices on TCG Player for like the Witch and the Wanteds and SP, etc. So it's really cheap, even if you don't own a single card. So if you have like staples at all or anything, like the decks cost pretty much nothing. So before I get into the profile, if you're interested in this dinosaur playmat or these sleeves, check out finalsaga.de. If you decide to buy anything, use my code VERSAL10 for 10% off your order. Anything you buy using my code helps support the channel directly, so definitely check them out. They got a lot of cool stuff over there. So with that being said, let's get straight into the profile. This isn't going to be like an in-depth deck profile or anything. I've talked about this deck at length in other videos. I have a bunch of combo videos and discussions about it. So if you want to learn more about the deck and stuff like that, check out those for sure, because this deck's like a lot more complicated than like just normal dinos. But it's definitely a really good version of the deck, and it's fun to play. But start off with the one Misc. Unfortunately, it's still at 1. 3 Ovi, 1 Archosaur. I still like 1 Archosaur in this version of the deck. I don't think you need 2. I think it's already too many normal summons as is. We got 3 babies, 2 petites. I think this is the right ratio for going first dinos in general. The 1 petite, or 1 Kaito. I like Kaito a little bit more than the Giant Rex nowadays, but it doesn't really matter too much which one you play. The 1 Meteors and the 1 Opal Head. The Opal Head, being fire, sometimes can come up. For the most part, it really doesn't matter. You could play like the Frostosaurus in this spot. I've considered putting it back in just because it's ulti several times, but I think the Opal Head's probably the one that you should play just because it's fire. And it can come up as the additional send for Leo sometimes. And then 2 Conductors. Still no pink in the main. I still don't like it in this deck. So that's it for the Dino Monsters. For the Dino Spells, we got 3 Fossil Dig, 2 Ground Xeno, and 2 Pill. This is just standard. I like 2 Ground Xeno. So far, the stuff I've shown you, like all these Dino Monsters, these are all literally bulk. Like none of these cost anything. They're all like cents. So like you could get everything here pretty much for like $2, except for the Ground Xenos. These are $5 each. So this is actually one of the more expensive cards in the deck at $5. So that kind of tells you like how cheap it is. But yeah, like everything here so far is like probably $12 altogether. Now for the package that made this deck good again for me. 3 Wanted, 1 Witch, 1 Poplar, and 1 Original. And the cards that we're using these to facilitate are the Evols, so Mega Chirilia, Leos, and the Singularity. These are at $3 each right now. The Witch is at $4. And then these are like $1 and change each, I believe. So that's around like 15, 16 bucks for this whole package. These don't cost anything. This one might be like $1 maybe, but we call it 17, 18. So like everything I've shown you so far is $30 altogether for the main deck outside of the non-engine, which I'll get to in a second. But 30 bucks for all the engine stuff, not bad at all. These are all like the normal stuff. The Poplars, so you can access this part of the engine with like your dino cards. So I think it's worth playing for that reason. Then for the non-engine, got 1 Prosperity. It's like engine too, but just threw it in with the non-engine. The 1 Call By, so you can stop hand traps. Then just playing 3 Ash, 3 droll, and in my main version of the deck that I was playing last, I was playing imperms, but those are like $7 each, so replaced them with nibs since these are a lot cheaper. I think these are like the highest impact hand traps that you could play that aren't like expensive. So just went with these. Ash is $5 each. Droll is like 50 cents each, and nibs like $1 and change. So between these all together, like $5-6. This is 15. This is like 3. So it's like 24 bucks for all this pretty much. So that brings the main deck total to around $54-$55, which is not bad at all. I think these are just the highest impact cards you could play. Nib, a lot of people, sometimes, like if you face like Tenpai, this card's obviously like not good to have in your deck. But a lot of the other decks are playing in a way that is disrespecting this card a lot of the time. So sometimes just it by itself can be enough, and you're not playing a ton of non-engine in the main deck. So you want to have stuff that's high impact. The drolls can be turn ending. The Ash is a good hand trap in general, but you need like this and the call by to negate all the hand traps that are going around, especially like Fualos, which is pretty bad to go against with this deck. So now to get into the extra deck, we got Dolka, Lagia. These cards don't cost anything. 2 Lars. I think this card's like $1 or so each. The Drill Guy, he doesn't cost anything. Banshee, Dweller, these don't cost anything. Anima, this card's like $2-3. SP, this card's like $6-7 now. So it's nice that that card's finally affordable for everyone. One Reaper Docus, and then we got Nightmare Phoenix, the Abyss Actor for when you get impermed on Banshee. The Barricade Board Blocker for when you have to unbreak like your Poplars or your other fire normal summons when you already have Dino combo. And then Princess Whale. Princess is like $1 now, so whole extra deck here. I think Whale's like $1 too, maybe. So yeah, like $3, like $4. These are all bulk. 11, 13, 15. It's like $15 or so for this extra deck. So main and extra $70. And that's, like I said, pre-sale prices, so they could end up being a few dollars cheaper as well. But then give you like some side deck cheap options that you could also play. We got Ghost Ogres, pretty good hand trap. DD Crows, these are okay too. Pink's decent. It's not as good without Lost World, but it's still like a decent card you could consider. Phantasme, it's like the bootleg Mulchummy. It's pretty solid. Back Row Hate, I think Cosmic's really good right now. Hit like Tenpai, Centurion, Fire King Island, stuff like that. It's good going first and second, which is good. The Duster's like $2. Everything else is bulk pretty much. Then Dark Rulers, like if you want to have a board breaker, this is one that like can hit like random decks that you just need to negate their board. Board breakers in general aren't like too great right now, to be honest. And then like one of the targeted breakers that you could play, which is another bulk card, is Soul Release. If you have a lot of Fire King in your like locals or whatever, this is one of like the few cards that's actually good against Fire King. But you have like hand traps for them, so it's like a decent plan already, like hand traps plus Cosmic. But this is like something you could consider. And then if you want to play like any number of D barrier, just mainly for Tenpai, you can throw these in. But these are all like literally don't cost anything besides Duster's $2. So these are like some decent cards that you could play. But yeah, if you want to prepare for Tenpai more, you would probably want to play like 3 of these or something. But this is just like a template of like some cards you could use. If you have access to cards like Thrust, I would include that instead of some of these. But other than that, it's like pretty fine. But yeah, it's gonna be it for this deck profile. I just want to do like a quick little run through to kind of show how cheap this deck actually is now. So the people that were wanting to play this version of the deck but didn't want to shell out the money for the Wanteds and the Witches, since those were still like 20 plus each. And then Princess was like another 20. SP was still like 30 or something. It was very expensive. But like I said, now like you could get everything I just showed you for $70 to $80 if you don't own a single card. So it's a pretty good entry point to Dinos if you want to play the deck going first. This is how I would recommend to play the deck if you want to go first with it. And if you want to learn how this deck works and stuff like that, Check out all my other recent videos about the deck. I've done a lot of different combo tutorials and stuff like that. It's definitely a more like complex type of dino deck. A little more thought goes into your plays. So it's fun to learn. It's really good when you're not getting hit by like certain hand traps in succession with each other. But you can usually play through one hand trap pretty well. But yeah, it's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Peace.